All I do is win, win, win. That's all we want to do, and especially for New Zealanders, New Zealand businesses, I have the same. New Zealand wins when New Zealanders win, and that's a big part of the driver of this section of the show, which is called Tall Poppy Profile. Q Business doing cool stuff, and I'm very fortunate today to have Joe Jensen join us from Strictly Savvy. How are you, Joe?
I'm really good. How are you, Robett?
A-okay. Now, you've been in Fiji, living the dream. You're back. What's happening? What's bubbling? And for those that aren't aware, tell us a little bit about your business, and we can get into it.
Yeah, sure. Definitely living my best life right now. So really excited about that through business and Strictly Savvy. I've kind of got that to the point now where it's running without me, with an incredible team, and they provide virtual assistant services to small to medium businesses around the country.
And when did talk to me about the genesis of the company, and I guess a little bit of the journey to date? Where did it start from?
Yeah, so back in 2012, I was on maternity leave with having my son, and come from a executive assistant role in corporate, and realised that I wanted to do something different, and knew that there was a lot of business owners who kind of required that kind of level of skill, but they didn't know how to get that without, hiring a full-time executive assistant, which, not everyone can afford, and they often don't need someone full-time. So, yeah, that's when it was born, and then just really gained fast momentum, realised that there was actually this whole industry around the world where people were virtual assistants, and sharing, businesses were sharing the resources that they were able to offer through admin and bookkeeping and whatever their skills were. So we kind of launched ourselves as virtual assistants, and just have grown from there.
So Strictly Savvy now is one of New Zealand's, I think, the largest virtual assistance businesses. What can a virtual assistant do for you? What can or can't you do?
So as a business owner, you've got to think about, what are the things on my to-do list that I either am not great at, don't like doing, and I know that I take too long doing them. And those are the kind of things that a virtual assistant can do. It's about freeing up your time as much as possible, getting things off your to-do list so that you can really focus on things that are more important, like revenue generating activities, servicing your client, strategy, coming up with new ideas, not your admin and your bookkeeping.
Yeah. COVID's changed a whole bunch of the game, especially when it comes to, look at the Zoom stock price. It went absolutely crazy because everyone was online. Everyone had to go virtual. Yep. and online. In terms of the uptake in virtual services, what have you seen at a macro level, looking at how the world's changed through this, and how this part of the industry has got even bigger?
Yeah, so I think a couple of things happened. So one was that those who thought, I have to have someone in my office, they need to be sitting next to me, I need to have quick access to them, they've been proven wrong. It's been proven that people can work from home, be super efficient, do great work, and through utilizing things like Zoom and communication tools, it's absolutely possible. So that's no longer a kind of barrier. And then there's this kind of risk involved with hiring employees now, where with COVID hitting and people who had all of these employees, you can't just let all your employees go without a bit of a process. And so there's this risk, right? And, with new legislation coming in, that puts even more kind of burden on business owners when they have employees, a lot of additional costs that come into that. Then now outsourcing to a virtual assistant is, a far less risky option. It's scalable. It's, fast to get people on board. So people are really seeing the benefit of that, and we're seeing massive growth.
One of the biggest things, I'm sure, for business owners and leaders or people looking to hire virtual assistants is trying to figure out how to trust someone virtually that they can't, exactly to your point, Joe, if they're not sitting there in the office, how do they know if they're doing what they're doing, whatever? How do you navigate those conversations of accountability and transparency for someone who potentially isn't physically in your business, but still working on your business?
Yeah, I think it's really important in that first kind of conversation to get a client really comfortable is to, map out exactly what it is that we will be doing and how we're going to communicate what we've been doing, and allowing them to have visibility of things like the task list that you're working on, and also tracking time. So all of my team track all of their time every minute of the day, and that creates a timesheet where a client can then see exactly, how their hours were spent that month. So it's all completely transparent, and I think it just comes down to a lot of kind of communication. So keeping the client up to date, making sure that, the business owner knows what the virtual assistant is doing and where they're at.
And in terms of skill sets for it, have you seen many businesses change their structure through COVID with this sort of hybrid model? What have you seen in terms of in the office, out of the office, how they're thinking about it differently? Because obviously if there's less people in the office, a lot of them are getting, smaller footprints in terms of commercial space, and people being able to work from home and hybrids and stuff. Like, how do you think that's all sort of morphed and shifted in the future of where that's going to go in for the future?
Yeah, I mean, we've all seen it, haven't we? Where big businesses are now having a lot of people working from home. And I think there's a kind of a cool opportunity where you can really have like a global team now. You're not confined by your, the borders of your own country. And I think that's kind of exciting that, businesses can really be opened up to the world now and the talent that's out there. And yeah, I think it's going to be a bit of a hybrid, like you say, where people are actually, or employees are now going to be looking for opportunities in businesses where they can have that hybrid and that flexibility of, choosing whether to be in the office or at home, because it doesn't always suit everyone and every personality working from home, but I think there's some people that are really enjoying it. So I think businesses are going to have to definitely be open to, that hybrid model.
And how does it feel now not have built such an interesting and awesome business now where you have to live in the life that you want? Headspace and mentally, how have you strategically navigated your way to this point? How did you think about your time, where you spent your energy, and forget from where you were to where you are now?
That's a big question. How long have we got, Robett?
Producer's probably going to tell me about a minute, but go for it.
A minute, okay. I dropped my ego and was like, actually, I'm going to hire people that are smarter than me and that can do a really great job, because I'm not great at everything. And so I dropped that, and I really focused on building a culture and a business that loved its people and was people focused. If I nurture my team, look after them, they're going to do a great job for the client. So I actually prioritize my team over the clients and produced a really supportive environment and gave people opportunities to actually, progress through the company, and found an absolute gem as our GM. So yeah, so that's it in a nutshell.
It's good. Detach ego, delegate, trust the team, giddy up. Seems pretty easy. Why does it seem so easy? Really appreciate you jump on, Joe. Thanks so much. Massive congrats to you and the team for the success rolling it out, and it's super cool for spending the time on some of your Saturday with us. So congratulations, well done, and good on you, Joe. Well done.
Oh, thank you. Awesome. Thanks, Robett.
Rock and roll. All right, there's Joe Jensen, CEO and founder of Strictly Savvy, Aotearoa's largest virtual assistant company. Check them out at strictlysavvy.co.nz.